This is a game where your save points are porta potties, your currency is paper clips, your hero is a talking trash can named Dustin Binsley. Yes, like a dustbin. And the wildest part, it was created by two full-time custodians who built an entire Super Nintendo-inspired RPG world out of their day jobs. This is my hands-on review of Kingdoms of the Dump on PC. And after diving deep into its dungeons, its overworld, the towns, mastering its timed attacks, and exploring one of the most creative settings I think I've ever seen, I've got a strong understanding of what this game brings to the table. No spoilers, just an honest, in-depth look at how it plays and feels, so you can decide for yourself if you should pick this game up. Huge thank you to Roach Games for the early review code. Alright Stash fam, let's pop the lid and jump into the Lands of Phil. Let's kick things off with the story and presentation because this trash world has way more heart than you'd expect. Kingdoms of the Dump opens with a full-on Super Nintendo-style intro. The great city of Scrap thrived until toxic waste from another place warped creatures into monsters. Garbamesh the Great, of course like Gilgamesh, united the Dump Kingdoms, defeated the threat, and peace lasted 100 years. Fast forward to today, during the annual King's Con celebration, the king is suddenly trash-picked and a young squire named Dustin Binsley gets blamed. Your quest is to clear Dustin's name, rescue the king, and stop the toxic Gremlin army from starting a war. The writing is funny, clever, and full of personality. There's NPCs like Bagatha, the brown trash bag, which is of course a play on Agatha the Great, bosses like Blue Bin, and towns like Tin Alley and Hortington Hall make every step memorable. Dustin wakes up complaining that his lid hurts, his first weapon is a can opener, and every few minutes you get another trash pun that genuinely lands. Visually, this looks like a blend of EarthBound, Chrono Trigger, Super Mario RPG, and Final Fantasy VI or 3, however you want to look at that one. The pixel art is gorgeous. Characters have expressive portraits that remind me of Shovel Knight, and the overworld uses a Mode 7 inspired camera straight out of the Super Nintendo era. The soundtrack is pure Super Nintendo, uplifting overworld themes, atmospheric dungeon music, and high energy boss tracks. It nails the tone of those classics perfectly. Now, let's dig into the gameplay because this combat system is far more clever than its trash jokes let on. Kingdoms of the Dump mixes turn-based JRPG combat with light platforming and exploration. You can run, jump, climb, and dig through trash piles or coolers that look like little mini igloo coolers for items like rotten onions, scrap metals, and moldy lettuce. Secrets are everywhere. There's no random battles. Enemies appear on the field, so you choose when you want to fight. Combat takes place, and this is very unique, on a 3x3 tile board, but this isn't a tactical RPG. At the start of each turn, you get a free movement, letting you step off of poison tiles, position behind objects, or set up knockback chains. Status effects stay on tiles, not characters, which adds a really unique layer of strategy, and I absolutely loved this gameplay element. The highlight, timed hits and timed blocks, just like Super Mario RPG's active time battle system. Press the action button during the peak of your animation to deal more damage, time blocks to reduce hits. The difference between nailing the timing and missing it is obviously huge. Then there's Boiling Point, the game's version of what I interpreted as Final Fantasy VII's Limit Break. When it fills, Dustin can unleash moves like boiling steel, summoning a giant scrap sword from the sky and creating a lava tile. In one fight, I knocked a boss off the tile, then used lid toss to push him right back into it. It's incredibly satisfying. Control feels great, clean menus, responsive movement, and fair timing windows, which is always important with active time battle. Let's talk performance and then answer the big question that I know I'm going to get in the comments, and rightfully so. So right now, Kingdoms of the Dump launches on PC, Windows, Mac, and Linux with full controller support. On PC, the performance is rock solid, the pixel art is crisp, combat animations are smooth, and again, the Mode 7 overworld looks fantastic. Load times are quick, and I didn't hit any crashes or slowdown, which is really cool in a game this size. Menus are clean and old school in the best way possible. You can set battle formations, view Dustin's journal, manage equipment, track resistances, and build out each character's skill tree. And since you can respec anytime for free, the game encourages experimentation. Now, the question that you guys will want to know is, will this come to consoles? I reached out to Roach, the creator, director, and custodian of the game. Here's exactly what he had told me. Nothing official is announced yet. We focused on fulfilling the Kickstarter first. This game was so ambitious with our team and budget that we went all in on that. We understand the demand, hopefully launch goes well, and we'd love as many people to experience the Lands of Phil as possible. So, like many indie games, Steam comes first and sales often fund the console ports. And I'll say this plainly, Kingdoms of the Dump would be absolutely perfect on Nintendo Switch and PlayStation. It feels like it was born to be played on a handheld. If the PC launch does well, which I'm expecting it will, I would be shocked if we didn't see console announcements shortly down the road. Now let's talk pacing and difficulty, because an RPG can live or die on both. The pacing in Kingdoms of the Dump is tight and well balanced. The intro is quick. The tutorial boss teaches you the essentials, and then you're out adventuring before things can drag. Because battles aren't random, you control how grindy the game feels. If you want more XP, fight more. Want to explore? Dodge enemies? It's your choice. The difficulty is fair but firm. Tile hazards, multi-enemy fights, and boss mechanics will push you to use your skills and positioning. I had one boss where Dustin Binsley died and my other party member was the only one alive. I had no revival items and I was like, I'm pretty sure I'm going to die, but I was able to get a last second win. Like, I really grinded the fight out and it felt awesome. So again, I think that difficulty level's just right. Now let's talk content, because the Lands of Phil are way bigger and more detailed than I expected. You'll visit the 5.5 kingdoms. Each kingdom has its own ruler, culture, exports, and visual theme, from laundry magic to bug cities to carpentry towns built on giant tables. Over time, you unlock 6 playable characters, each with a unique field ability. Dustin scraps metals and breaks locks. Another character, which I won't name just to keep it spoiler free, can climb walls and wires. Another one shoots switches and stuns enemies, and others expand traversal even more. So this world is full of secrets, hidden paths, optional dungeons, caves, side quests, and special areas that reward exploration. And I found out right off the bat, because the game will literally tell you when you find a hidden zone. So who is this game for? Look, if you love EarthBound's humor and quirky world, Super Mario RPGs, active time battle system, Chrono Trigger's pacing and charm, and Final Fantasy VI, or again, 3, however you want to look at that. It's gorgeous pixel art and storytelling along with the Mode 7 overworld map, then you are the exact audience this game was made for. This is for RPG fans who love creativity, heart, humor, and Super Nintendo style design. Now let's talk fun factor, because of course that's what matters most. That's why we play video games, right? It's to have a good time. And Kingdoms of the Dump is super fun. Combat stays engaging thanks to timing, tile placement, and boiling point limit breaks, and you're always learning new moves. Exploration is rewarding with plenty of secrets that make you want to check every corner, and the writing keeps everything uplifting, witty, and full of charm. I laughed out loud so many times. There's a very specific kind of magic when a game can make a world of garbage feel heartfelt, and this game absolutely nails it. Let's zoom out and talk about why this game actually matters. Kingdoms of the Dump is the definition of a indie passion project. It was created by 2 full-time custodians, Roach and Everdread, who literally spent years cleaning classrooms and hallways to fund development before turning to Kickstarter. And that matters. I deeply respect what they were able to accomplish here, building a full JRPG, pixel art, soundtrack, world building, the combat system. Everything while working full-time custodial jobs is unbelievable. Most people would never even attempt this, let alone succeed at this level. And the garbage theme isn't a gimmick. It's creative, it's personal, and it's actually symbolic. It's about taking something overlooked and turning it into something meaningful. If this game finds its audience, and I think it will, it is going to be remembered as a cult classic indie RPG, the kind of game people recommend years later with, oh yeah, you have to play this game. And if it does make the jump to consoles, it has all the makings of a breakout hit. Alright friends, now it's time for my final thoughts. Kingdoms of the Dump feels like a lost Super Nintendo PS1 era RPG that finally got released decades later. Modernized, polished, and crafted with real heart. The writing is memorable, the combat is super addictive, and the world is one of the most charming settings I've experienced, I think, ever. The game absolutely gets my full Thunderstruck recommendation. Alright, if you enjoyed this review, please hit that like button, subscribe, and let me know in the comment section below which classic RPG does this game remind you of the most. And before I wrap up, please don't forget to check out the weekly NintenByte Podcast that I co-host alongside Nintendo Prime, Gamebird Classic, and Eric Moore. We have a rotation of new and reoccurring guests every week where we break down all things Nintendo, Switch 2, industry news, and everything happening in the world of gaming. And as always, remember, you're never too old to play video games.